to be frank, you'd have to pry my dead body off that ice. So I'm skating no matter what.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show, Mission Milano Cortina 2026. I'm Perdita. Last week, we broke down, the state of Canadian figure skating. It was a good one. We are not done with that conversation, though. No, not by a long shot, because we officially know who's representing Canada at the Winter Olympics, and two of the biggest names on that team are joining me now. Deanna and Max, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Congratulations, you're both going to the Olympics. How does that sound?
Oh,
Yeah.
sound like a dream coming true.
Yeah.
It's a dream that's been there forever. So, it's been over 25 years I've been dreaming of this. So now that it's finally there, it's exciting.
You took silver behind Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud. Now that the dust has settled, what do you think of your performance?
I don't really know. I mean, we have a very strong track record. We've been undefeated in Canada for 4 years. This is the first defeat we've ever had from a countryman. And we had a really bad skate, so we didn't deserve to win. They deserve to win. So, we just have to clean up our technical elements. We didn't do any of them, so we have to clean them up. And, so that we are better prepared for the Olympic Games, because that performance won't cut it there either.
Can you break down what you think happened?
We have been working super hard at home and everything. Practice was going super well here. It just, they have they didn't, even warm up was great. So, but when the music turned on, when it was time for jumping and stuff like that, that has become difficult. So we'll have to go home, practice, and just have confidence in ourselves that we can do it, attack. Because that's what we did in the short program. We were really happy and everything. But when the music turned on in the free program, it wasn't the same.
Deanna, I gotta say, I love how honest and candid and vulnerable you are after you skate. When you look back at your performance, does this fuel you at all?
Well, in general, my pet peeve is people who are disingenuous. I personally just can't take that. So I feel like there's no point in really faking an emotion, especially when some people are gonna be displeased if you're happy and displeased if you're sad. So really you can't win anyway. So you might as well just feel what you're feeling and, figure it out and get through it. But we're not the first team or skater who has not had a good nationals and then in turn has a good Olympics. So, maybe this was what we needed to turn things around. We were not trying to peak here. We were the only Canadian team at the Grand Prix final. Our schedule's been different than everybody else's. So this was not an event we were trying to peak at. We were trying to take a step up from that, which we kind of did in the short, not so much really in the free. So it's just a matter of kind of reassessing with the team of coaches and with each other, and then seeing where we need to go from there.
Max, I gotta ask you, what works so well between you and Deanna? Why is this team so special?
We're clearly a good match to each other because we're complementary to each other. We're both really hard workers, but it's not only this. It's Diana is really picky and really want to improve every little thing, and I'm really positive. Try to bring all the positive out there. So if we're both the same way, it's not gonna work. So I always say we're the yin and the yang of each other. So that's why it's working well.
Deanna, I love your story. It is so remarkable to me. First of all, you stepped away from the sport for 16 years. You come back because you're I want to win an Olympic medal. I want Olympic gold. And you are now that much closer to that dream. What does that feel like?
Yeah, well, I think, obviously when I came back and said, I wanted to win an Olympic gold medal and I wanted to go to the Olympics. I mean, so many people didn't believe that was possible. It was really almost just solely me at that point. And so to be able to kind of actually achieve this Olympic dream and make it and become an Olympian, after all of the hurdles that I've had to go through, yes, this weekend was extremely disappointing for us, and unexpected, but we still made the Olympic team and we're still going there. And that goal was still fulfilled. It's still a check mark in the box. The check mark is just not as pretty as I wanted it to be. And then we hope, at the Olympics that, we have the experience that we, wanted to when we partnered in 2019, that our first little meeting that we had was the 2026 Olympics. And so, this is what we've been aiming toward the entire time we've known each other.
Yep.
And we want to have that magical moment, on the ice there on February 15th and 16th.
You both have been together since 2019. When you look back at who the two of you were then versus who you are now, what has changed?
Oh, we have definitely evolved a lot as a team. We have defined who we are, what we are aiming for, and what we try to leave as a legacy after us also. And like at first, we were just trying to do stuff, re- recreate what others have done. And now we are really ourselves doing tricks that nobody have ever done. Try to push us sport way further, but in every single way. Like we're really a team that's pushed boundary of skating.
And I also feel like this week, unfortunately, I haven't been able to keep any food down since I arrived at nationals. So it was difficult to perform in that way. But I said to Max, if this was the Olympic Games and I had some type of a flu and I couldn't keep any food down, it's like, to be frank, you'd have to pry my dead body off that ice. So I'm skating no matter what.
Yeah.
So let this be like another dry run for a predicament that we could be in there. And, let's see how we can come out and how good or not good we can do and figure out how to make it better. So we've always kind of been that team, but that kind of key element of being able to adjust and adapt when needed, we've gotten really good at, I say, as our time together has grown.
I love that. February 16th will be here before you know it. How did the two of you protect your bodies and that belief that you need to have that you can win between now and then?
Oh, for sure, the belief is still there. The faith in ourselves is there. That have never disappeared. Of course, a bum in the road is always hard, but at the same time, sometimes it's necessary to like make some little adjustment, but also to know like, okay, like I still have hope and faith in ourselves. So this is still there. For physicality, we have to take care of ourselves, try to push and train as much as we can, but at the same time, not over push because then, so this is always a challenge. But overall, it's just to stay together as a team and see the positives and try to improve every day.
Okay, Deanna, you're 42. I'm 45. We are women of a certain age. I want to know if you were to, speak to that younger woman that you were who left the sport so many years ago, what would you say to her?
I mean, at least for me, it's like a bit more personal if I'm speaking to women that are like closer to my age, like in their 30s and 40s. Because I find oftentimes when you're ending your 20s into your 30s, you're typically no longer going after your own dreams, but you're helping somebody else create theirs. And, you kind of, it's so easy to lose sight of that. And I'm also, I'm very lucky that I have a dream. Not everybody does. So if you're lucky enough to have a dream or have a passion in life, you owe it to yourself to follow that and to see where it can come, like what can be made out of it. I never thought I would be living a life like this. So, it's like, you might even surprise yourself with what you're able to create, things you're able to do in the avenue and in the world in which you love. But mainly for me, with girls and women is to just take up space. And to be themselves, not to be afraid to speak their mind. Don't be afraid to, make sure you're acting perfect all the time or not, say your opinion or the way that you want to do something. Women need to be encouraged to be strong and to be independent and to have a voice. And not just to be on the sidelines or helping somebody else be the best that they can be, but try to be the best that they can themselves.
That is so inspiring. I love that. Thank you, Deanna and Max. We cannot wait to see what you do in Milano Cortina.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, that was great. I love talking to them. It is now time for Mackenzie. Here's the rundown.
We can hear you, by the way. It's amazing, and it gives you the last push that you want before the run. It's amazing.
And with 3 weeks to go before the Olympics, we are literally on that last push. Here's what you need to know. First up, Mikhail Kingsbury. This guy is no joke, okay? He just took home his 100th World Cup win, topping the podium in moguls, and he wasn't alone to celebrate afterwards.
Yeah, what a day. It's unreal. Thank you guys so much. I can't believe I'm at 100.
It really is just an absurd accomplishment, but somehow exactly what you'd expect from him. Now, he wasn't the only one making noise. In Val St. Côme, fans were absolutely losing it for Julien Viel, who secured his first ever World Cup gold in dual moguls on home snow. Also in free ski, 2 medals out of the Slopestyle World Cup in Aspen, Colorado. Megan Oldham took silver and Elena Gaskell won bronze for their first medals of the season. And after 4 years, Laurie Blouin is so back, winning the Slopestyle World Cup in snowboard. Now remember, the Paralympics are also quickly approaching, and Team Canada, they just had another impressive run at the Parabiathlon World Cup in Germany. Natalie Wilkie took gold and 2 silvers, Mark Arends earned gold and bronze, and Brittany Hudak brought home 2 bronze medals. You can watch all of these athletes at the Winter Olympics beginning February 6th and the Winter Paralympics beginning March 6th. If you want to be an expert, tune in again next week.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Okay, you're saucy. No, you're saucy. No, you're saucy. Okay, enough. That was my dramatic entrance to the sauce of the week, which you know by now is that moment that just stands out to us. And this week it goes to none other than alpine skier extraordinaire, American Lindsey Vonn. She took her 45th win in downhill at the World Cup in Taukense, Austria. And please note, it's her 2nd win of the season. Also, Lindsey has stood on the podium of every single downhill race so far this season. And I'm not done. Vonn has 84 World Cup wins to her name. And I know what you're saying. Some of you are like, wait, isn't she like 41? Yeah, so? Well, hasn't her sauce been cooking for some time now? So, basically, what Lindsey's saying to all of us is respect the marination. As a woman of a certain age also, I just want to say to Lindsey, hats off to you. You are the sauce, you are saucy. We love to see it and we can't wait to see what you do at the Olympics. I love this show. How about I got to give an ode to women in their 40s, because you know. Anyways, I love it here. All right, that is it for me. Make sure you are locked into this weekend. Make sure you're tuning into the Snowboard Cross World Cup. That goes in Dongbei, China. That starts at 6 p.m. ET on Sunday, January 18th. And also the Freestyle Skiing World Cup with dual moguls in Deer Valley, USA at 7 p.m. ET. All right, thank you for indulging me. Thank you for joining me. That is it. I will see you next week. We are getting closer, people. You better buckle up, Buttercup. We're getting close. See you next time.